Good morning. I'd like to talk about FUTA, Employers Annual Federal Unemployment Tax Form, the FUTA. So that would be Form 940. I have posted instructions on how to fill up that Form 940. But today I like to pretty much show you how you can fill it up in case you need some visual help here. So it depends on how your business is set up. IRS might require you file it up quarterly or annually. So the annual form is 940 and it's due by the end of January. So if your business is still young or you didn't generate enough revenue and you want to save some money by filling up those forms yourself, I can show you how you can do it. If it's complicated for you, it's better you seek a professional help to help you fill it up. So let's get started. I can just show you the form here. You can also go on my website at ninasoap.com to see the instructions there as well. So let me turn you around a little bit. So as you can see, that's the form right here. You can download it from IRS website, and I have the form on my website as well. When you go to IRS website, you just click on form and instructions and you look at form 940. And you can just download it up. I would suggest you download the instructions as well and fill it up. Read the instructions, fill up the form, and just mail it. So as you can see here, you'll fill up the top with your employer and the identification number. But pretty much, what is 940? You have to read the instructions to see if you are required to make any payment, and if you are not required to make any payment based on the income that you made during the year, if you didn't pay yourself at all, if you are just one employee in the business and you didn't pay yourself at all, you may not be required to make any payment, because the payment is based on the amount you made. The first $5,000 that you made during the year will get taxed up to 6%. But if you didn't pay yourself any salary and you are the only one employee in the business, you may not be required to send in any payment. But you are still required to fill up the form. So you have to fill up the form and send it in without any payment. But if you pay yourself some salaries and you pay some employers, or that's just you are required to collect to pay 6% of the first $7,000 that you pay to any employer during the year, for each one of the employees that you pay during the year. So if you pay less than $7,000, as wages, then that will be the whole amount. But if you pay $10,000 for example, then that will be the first $7,000 for that particular employee. So as you can see here, the first step, you'll put your employer identification number, and then you'll put your name, which is now the business name. And then next, you'll put for trade name, you'll put your business name. You'll fill up the address side, and I will assume this session you don't have anything there that will go there unless you are amending. And for part 1, so if you have a state that you have to pay in some unemployment tax, you will put the state abbreviation letters here on the first part. So, and then you come down here to the part 2. Unless you have more to fill in based on how your business is structured, then you can fill up those areas for part 1 as well. Then part 2, so that's the total here, that's the total that you paid your employees. Let me adjust the camera here. As you can see here for part 2, the total payment to all employees will go there. And part 4, no, not part 4, but line 3 will have the total in salaries that you pay out, and line 4 will have the exemptions to the exemption from FUTA tax. So if you go to the instructions, I believe that would be, let me see if I have the instructions open here, but that would be part, that would be page 8, I believe, that they listed the benefits that are exempt from FUTA. So you'll find them here. If you have paid any of those, yeah, well, you'll select which ones that you pay, and then you'll put it here. And if you want to look at the instructions, I believe I have it on my website. On the file, on the left side, in the left side bar, you'll see free downloads. We have task form and instructions here, and I believe it will ask you to sign in, to sign up, or to log in. And you can see the instructions. We have it here, and I even highlight some information on it as well. So let's go to page 8. The first things I will suggest when you open the instructions is to locate the address where you are going to mail your form, and that will be this section here. So you need to, if you are going to mail in payment, you'll use this colon, but if you are going to mail without payment, you'll use this colon. So you have to locate the state to see which address to use. And if we go down to page 8, pretty much the instruction will help you fill up the form. Sometimes it can be a little confusing, but it has some helpful information here. So as you can see here on page 8, those are the adjustments. So you can see the exempts section here that are highlighted, and they will explain what is qualified and what is not. So if you go back to the form again, now this section 5, line 5 will help you. Pretty much you are going to put the amount you pay in excess to each employee. So you can use a spreadsheet to track, if you're now using an accounting software, to track your payroll, and then for each one of your employees, you calculate how much you pay in excess of $7,000, and that amount will go here. Because here, line 3, you are putting the total income, the total salary here, including anything over $7,000 for each one of your employees. So you are putting the total wages that you pay for the year here, and those two numbers that you put here will be taken out of it to come down to line 7. So line 6 will just be a total of 4 and 5, and line 7 pretty much will be the total wages that is subject to FUTA tax, and FUTA tax is 6%. But first you will be asked to calculate 0.6% rate on it here. So that's what line 8 is about. And then when you come down to part 3, if you have paid your states, then there is a worksheet on the instructions, I believe on page 10, I think. Let's go down a little bit, which will help you determine how much is deductible from what you pay the state, and I believe that is one. So that's on page 11 of the instructions. So that's worksheet line 10. Especially it's helpful if your state has different type of rate all the year. So part 3, 9 will be to calculate 5.4% rates on the total wages that you pay, or the total wages that is subject to FUTA tax. In my case here is still this 108. So you calculate it here, and then line 10 will be about how much you pay to the state. That can be deducted. So that's what line 10, 11 is about here. And line 12 will be to total line 8, 9, 10, and 11. So if you didn't pay the state, or you are not required to pay any unemployment tax to the state, then your line 12 will pretty much be the sum of line 8 and 9. So that will be 6% of everything you paid as wages that is subject to FUTA tax after you took fringe benefits and anything paid in excess of $7,000 to each one of the employees out. If we go down further, you can read the instructions to see what what lines you need to fill up or not. But pretty much if you pay in, you make some deposit during the year, because if you collect more than $500, pretty much the way you do it is 6% is the tax. So when you do 6% times what you think you'll pay as wages throughout the year, and it's more than 500, you should be making deposit throughout the year, I believe quarterly, but there is instructions on that, how often or not often you should be making that payment. So if you make any deposit during the year, then it will go on line 13. And line 14 is if line 13, line 14 is the difference between line 12 and 13. But if you make more deposit than you owe tax, then you are due a refund. But if you didn't make any deposit, or you made less deposit than you owe tax, your line 14 is more than line 13, then you pay in a payment. And make sure when you come to this row to put your name, not the business name, and your identification number here. And pretty much line 5 is in case for this year your line 12 was more than 500, so pretty much you request some information here to see what quarter you pay out the most in wages wise. So but if your total is less than 500, there is no reason to fill up bar 5. So now let's go down to bar 6. Bar 6, I like to just put none. And if you are the only one employee in your business, then there is no point of clicking yes. The others can contact you yourself. And bar 7 has 2 sections here. So if you are filling up your own form, bar 7, you put your name, your title, and you put your phone number. And when you print out the form, you sign and you date. You leave the paper part or use only space alone, unless you are doing it for somebody else and you'll be paid for. That's when you fill up this part, and that's pretty much it. Then when you go down, there will be the voucher, and there is instruction, some instructions here how you should fill up the voucher and mail in the payment and the voucher. So for the voucher, you fill up your business name here, your business identification number or employer identification number, your address, city and state, and you make sure you put the dollar amount. And I have not said before, but when you are filling up this form, you can fill in the cents area, that's why they have it, but just don't put any dots or decimal point, and don't put dollar sign either. So you can you'll put dollar on the dollar side, on the left side, and the cents on the right side. You fill up the voucher, and you can either mail in a check or a MoneyGram. No, not MoneyGram, money order. And make sure on the money order or the check, I like to use money order when it's possible. That way you don't just give your bank account information, your bank account number to the IRS. They can get it if they want, but you just don't have to hand it over to them. So when you are filling up the check or the money order, make sure you put payable to United States Treasury. So they'll have payable, or they'll have a word in there. Just put United States Treasury next to it, and make sure down somewhere on the page, on the money order or check, you put your EIN number from 940 and 2019. Those 4 things needs to go on the check or the money order. And don't staple the check or the money order to the voucher, and don't staple the voucher to the form you just fill up either. So put those 3 things in the envelope. You can staple, I believe the form itself, 940 form, is about 3 pages, or probably 2. I think that'll be 3 pages. So page 1, 2, 2 pages, so you can staple those together, and then you just put the voucher behind it or in front of it with the money order. So they have this line here that you can cut off the voucher and just put in the envelope along with the form and the check and mail it to the address that is listed in the instructions for the state you are, whether you are sending in a payment or not. So look up the address properly and send it in. And when you mail it, you can request a type of confirmation so that you can track the mail and know when it has been deposited in the PO box where you send it, because that's a PO box where it's going. You don't need to request the post office to mail you a confirmation letter in the mail. Is more expensive. You can just request to be able to track the mail online. Otherwise, you can simply mail it as well if you are using a check. That way, when your bank is debited, you know that IRS receive it. That's one way of doing it as well. Thank you for watching. I'm Afiavi Ojune Marie-ninette Liberman, creator of marie-ninette Liberman's YouTube channel and owners of ninasoap.com. You can go to my website to print out the form and the instructions and start filling it up if you have not done it yet. Remember, it's due by the end of January. Otherwise, you can just hire a professional to do it for you. But if you think you are not making enough, you want to save some money, yes, you'll be able to do it. You just have to take some time to read the instructions and fill it up. There is not much to fill up if you don't have a lot income that came in 2019. You should be able to do it yourself, but it might take you some time to figure out how to fill it up. But first, make sure you go online to the Social Security website to use the business service online to report and fill up your W-2s and W-3. Print out the appropriate document so that you have the total of W-2s to use to fill up this form. And I put on my website how to, if you have not done it before, how to fill up W-2s online with SSA. You do that and you don't have to send in any paper form. Thank you for watching.